Those head pats get me every single time. Are we gonna get a bonk too, or are we just getting the head pats? Hello, 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 hello. There it is. There it is. Hello, hello, hello. My mic sound all right? Do we sound good? How's everybody doing right now? All right, I'm gonna turn on the music. Give me just a second. Stay with me. Da, 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 da. Ba, na, 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 da, da. Do you know why I have the music loud at the beginning of every stream? It's so that when I come into the stream, people don't go, "Oh my god, jump scare!" Because every time the volume of the music is quieter than my mic, everyone's like, "He's so loud, Gene." So I lost my lemon. I bought a pack of lemons. Okay, I can't remember who it was gifted me, which I will personally, you know what? No, I'm going to find out right now who gifted me the Uber Eats gift card. No. I have lemons now. So don't worry. Somebody gifted me a gift card on Throne. Let me actually log on to my Throne real quick so I can properly thank them again. I have 6 lemons. I have 6 lemons right now with me at this moment. There's a lemon in my hand. The person who got me this lemon is, one second, orders. No, wait a second, where is this? There it is. Solian. Solian gifted me a $50 Uber Eats gift card. And so I ordered a bunch of pizzas, one that I might have burnt. I ordered bread. I ordered some more breakfast, I got Eggo waffles. I now have a lemon in my hand. And as promised, I said I would take one bite of lemon. Only the top's burnt. Like I put it on broil to test it. So I'll do one bite of lemon from the top with the peel. Then I will peel it and eat the rest. Okay? Eggo waffles are real. But before we do that, because that's going to be too easy, I'm not going to give it to you that quickly. You're going to have to be patient. First, we need to do our normal hello to everybody. I gotta say hi to everybody. I gotta warm us up a little bit, and I gotta talk about what we're gonna do on stream, as well as some events coming up, and then we can eat the pizza. Oh, sorry, the lemon. I will also be eating pizza. You're gonna have to deal with a little bit of both. So. But while we do this, I'm going to need y'all to try to count for me. Remember, you're trying to get to 10. You start with 1. Nobody can say the number afterwards, and no repeat numbers. All right? Let's go. You already messed up. And I'm going to say hello to everybody. Here we go. There's so many people. What the heck? Why does everybody want to see me eat a lemon so badly? Catherine, thank you for getting first. Congratulations. Admali, thank you for getting second. Congratulations. Eli, thank you for getting third. Did I turn off the oven? Oh, sorry, I'm back. Everything's fine. I need to see the entertainment. But yes, everything's fine. Also, stop trying to add a lemon. Stop adding envy. We will see. Stop trying to add a lemon to my Oshi marks. It's not happening. All right. Hello, Silver Vang. Hello, Talissima. Hello, Maddie and Goalie. Hello, Carmia. Hello, Admali. Hello, Unstable Raccoon and Lunar and Eagle. Hello, Coral. Hello, Coral. Hello, fine. Hello, Aiko, and, hello, Macaroni, and hello, Alex, and Galactic, and Echo. Hello, Yoshihiko, and Kiana. Hello, Full Metal Brookie, and Endless Worlds. Where's this timer? There it is. Hello, Meow Kitty Cat and Marine Wife. Hello, Revy. Hello, Glitch of the Ditch. Hello, Endless Worlds. I don't know if I said it already. And hello, Brooke and Kiana. Hello, Riva. Hello, Tasha. And hello, Onyx. Hello, Pink, Elijah, and Amelia. Hello, Rengoku's wifey, Galaxy, and Annabelle. Hello, Sunny the Sunshine, and Shank and Pinky. Hello, Sky the Walrus and Plushie, and Show Weirdo. Hello, Necro Ninja. Necro's still loving your art. It's absolutely amazing. Hello, Uno Potato. Hello, Poppy Sprout. Hello, Seven Kai. Hello, Imana All right, I guess we're doing Southern. Hello, Nap Time. Hello, Gibbets. Hello, Ariana. Hello, Zen Noxus. Hello, Shiny Whatever. Hello, Siren. Hello, Little Mouse and Cade. Hello, Butter Tub. Hello, Cats are... I'm not reading the rest of your name. Hello, Asha. Hello, Lenti. Hello, Zimmy. And hello, Embry Jinx. Hello, Rainfeather. Hello, Spooky Nemi. I don't know what makes you spooky, but, you know, hello, Spooky Cast. So many spooky people. Gonna do say boo and I'm gonna get spooked. Hello, Shadowy Destroyer. Hello, Konshimi. Hello, The Unlucky. Hello, Mukya. Hello, Mumu. Hello, Starwolf. Hello, Kish Dave. Davi, Keisha, I can't pronounce her name. Hello, Stella Jazzy, Black Silva, Hush, and Kizu. Hello, Call Me Mutt and Julia. Hello, Pandragon and Poison. Hello, Unicorn Tamer. Hello, Real Rabbit Wolf. Hello, Cat Box. Hello, Deshaun, Silly Good, Bellatrix, Bumblebee. Hello, Misty. Hello, Dot. Hello, Ava. Hello, Anya and IU and Useless Huntress. Hello, Sinful Microwave Kitty. Hello, Sergeant Music. Hello, who else we got here? Bloodworth and Neffy. Hello, Momu Mia and Solian. Thank you for the check-in. Ash, hello, Maple. Thank you for the head pats. Hello, Minerva. Hello, Red Faye and Casey. Hello, Anya. Thank you for the stretch. For Pink, ooh, woo. For Junior, we rated the Ana, but I'll do it again. Hello, Yuki. Hello, Ocean. Hello, Danny. Hello, Mauritians. Oh, hello, May. There's a lot of new names here. Hello, May. Hello, Sakona. Hello, Moreau. Hello, Moreau. How's the art going? How is school going? Hello, Gay Cheeto Puff. Thank you for the follow and welcome to the menagerie. Hello, Wolfos Untamed. Wolfos, I looked you up one day on Google and they kept wanting to show me everyone except you. So I need to figure out how to talk to Google and fix that. Hello, Twyla. Hello, Red. Fine, we are doing the German now. Hello, Bella Beauty. Hello, the Soul Keeper. Hello, Lihana. Hello, Zombie Biscuit. Hello, Red Moon. Hello, Seven Steps and Elite Queen. Hello, Shrimp-Filled Cloud. Hello, Pebbles. How are we doing on the counting, by the way? I think everybody gave up. Hello, Pebbles. Hello, Gay Frogs. Hello, Elite Queen. You did the whiny voice. Hello, Minerva. Thank you for the hydrate. Hello, Alaska and Daddy. And what do we have here? Hello, Wolfie. Hello, Stoopy Bread. Thank you for the follow. Hello, Liana. Lovegood. Hello, Envy. And hello. If I missed anybody, I apologize. But hello. Okay. I have a lemon. Now we're going to wait for the German voice to finish up. We have 1 minute left. And then we will bite into this. What, do we want a countdown or something? Or how do we want to do it? Spent my day playing Mario Galaxy. Oh, lovely. We are almost there. Give it just a little bit longer. Come on, German voice. You can do it. You can finish up. I have my little timer. Come on. And if anybody redeems another voice, I will fight you. I will make you swallow this lemon whole. I know I could turn them off. Am I going to do that? Of course not. Why would I do that? And we have it almost... This is the longest minute. It is a seedless lemon, so I can eat the entire thing. It is seedless. It was intentional. And for those of you who do not know, we are eating a English lemon. Well, it's a Maya lemon. But the difference between a lemon, if you're talking Spanish and English, is that there's the opposite fruits. Okay? Good. So... I will be taking a bite of it with the peel, because I promised I'd do so. But yes, a lemon is the yellow fruit. When you're talking the United States lemon, and if you're talking Hispanic, it's the green fruit. We're doing the yellow one. All right? Are we ready? Can I get a countdown, chat? We're going to start from 10. Count me down from 10, and I will count back. I will bite it on 1. Here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 10 again, 6, 10 again. Nope, now we're at 9. Now we're at 7, we're at 5, we're at 8, 3, 2, 1. No, that's not 4. I don't know where we're at now. 60. That is not how these count to 2, 1. Oh. Nom, nom, nom. Nom. Ah! Oh! Why? The peel is awful. Who made me do the peel? Who made me do the peel? Okay, I'm gonna peel off the peel now. Oh, take a pic. You're right. Oh, so I have proof. It's so gushy. Here we go. Wait. Let me get it. I'm gonna put it on top of my burnt pizza. There we go. Okay. I'll post it to the Discord and I'll post it on Twitter real quick. Oh, my fingers are so sticky now. Whose idea was this again? Riva? Riva, this was your idea, right? You caused this. And my fingers won't respond to my phone. There we go. Ooh, okay. Let's go to the Twitter. And I will eat it without the pill from then on. Exclamation point Discord. Exclamation point Discord will get you there. If you have iPhone, you're going to have to do it on the website, the desktop version on the browser. You don't have to do it on a computer. Is it yummy? You know what? The fruit wasn't bad. The peel was awful. So you know what? This might be an experience. All right, we're gonna peel off the rest of the peel. Give me a second. God, my hand is so sticky. I might have to take a little break right after this so I can go wash my hands before we do any gaming. Was this my first time eating a lemon? I don't know. For my first time actively eating a lemon, eat a lime when you reach 10,000. Why a lime? You like the peel? Oh, gross. It's so I don't peely. What is the flavor of a peel? It's so wrong. Okay. Jeez, juice is getting everywhere. Okay. Yep, we're gonna have to wash my hands after this. Finger limes are supposed to be sweet. The peel tastes a lot better cooked. What do you mean cooked? Are you telling me I needed to roast my lemon? All right, you know what? I have a bunch of lemons. We will roast a lemon, and next stream I'll eat a roasted lemon, okay? Exclamation point Discord for the Discord. Okay, you ready? Are you ready? I'm gonna eat this like it's a fruit. Okay. Oh, it's so sour. Oh. Why? Okay, look, it's halfway there. It's halfway there. Okay, there we go. Another. Oh. I have 3 pieces of lemon left. Okay, here we go. You know, I have to eat a pizza after this. I don't know if the pizza's gonna taste any good. Here we go. Oh. Mm-hmm. Oh. It's gone. My hands are covered in disgusting, not disgusting, but in juices. Okay. I'm gonna turn on the words game while I go wash my hands. We good with that? Ooh, thank you so much for the redeem. Ugh. 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 Do you want to pick up an empty peel? Okay. Yeah, bet. Well, I know, I'm gonna have to take it after this because my hands are too sticky. So we're gonna do this, and I'll be. It was awful. It was awful. We'll be right back. Enjoy the game while I go wash my hands. Okay. Wait. Y'all are crack. No. We're gonna keep going. Keep going. If y'all don't get perfect, we're stopping. This one has fake letters. Let's see what happens. We're on level 11. This is insane. This is crazy, y'all. What the? Wait. Since when are you all this smart? What is this? All I had to do was devour a lemon, and apparently y'all get super cracked and smart at this, okay? I mean, I know, but you take 100 monkeys and you put them in a room with a typewriter, and, like, they're not gonna type out Shakespeare for a long time, and y'all are doing this. This is insane. Not calling you all typewriting monkeys. You don't have typewriters, keyboards. Jeez, different. Oh, come on. There's only 3 words left. What's going on? You guys got this. Come on. 2 words. One word. It's only 4 letters long, y'all. It's only 4 letters long. Don't let me down. It's probably not that word then. Come on. Come on. 4 letters. 4 letters. You can do it. Did anybody? Okay, someone did inch. No, you got it. What the heck? Okay, look, I know I want to get to stream, and I do want to stream, but y'all are on level 16. Do we want to do another one of these? Do you want to just see if we can do another one and see how many we can get done? Only perfects. As soon as it's not perfects, it's over, right? All right, let's do one more. One more. Come on. One letter is fake, one letter is hidden. One letter is a fake letter, and one letter is hidden. You gotta try to guess it. And every word is 5 letters long. Every word is 5 letters long minimum. What the heck? 5 letters is your first word. Come on, y'all, you haven't gotten one yet. Going, maybe? Has anybody tried going? Ooh, okay. Ooh, ooh, this fake. Y'all, one of these letters, it's gotta be one of the O's, right? The S is fake? Not a single one yet. We flew too high, we got too close to the sun. Well, the game just don't like you. The game just does not like you. Or it's given up. It's just said no more words for these guys. Is it bugged? It might be bugged. It has to be bugged at this point. Yeah, no, there's no way you didn't get a single word. This is broken. Yeah, I'll mute again. Let's see. The G was fake, y'all. The G is fake. The G is fake. You need the R. Everybody kept doing G's. The G's been fake this entire time. No, the G was fake. Oh, oh no. Oh, y'all got so far, though. That was amazing. I'm very impressed. Very impressed. Y'all, that lemon gave me a headache. That lemon gave me a headache. I think I got too into eating that lemon, and now I have a headache. I'll be fine. I'll get over it. Okay. Was the lemon worth it? Was the lemon worth it? Oh no, I think it was because I got too into it. I got too excited. I got like super hyped up that like my brain was just like, all the blood in your head right now. And then my brain almost exploded. So, but it didn't. We're good. I have fun with y'all. Y'all being here gets me all excited and energetic, okay? That's all it is. The lemon didn't get me excited. The lemon was not the thing I enjoyed. I enjoyed you. How do I hide the chat? I don't know. Good luck. May you never be in a life or death situation. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. He was excited by a lemon. I was excited by chat. So, we are going to be doing a game, obviously, because that's what we do. And we are going to be playing... What game am I playing? I don't even know what game I'm playing. I bought it today. Not Glitch Spank, though. I do want to finish Glitch Spank. By the way, if you haven't checked out Glitch Splank... Glitch Spank. Glitch Spank. Glitch Spank. If you haven't checked it out, go check out Glitch Spank. It is a great game. The dev actually hit me up to play the game. I had so much fun. He just gave it to me for free. It's like, hey, if you want to play this, play it. I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. And it was fun. So try it out. We're going to be playing card game. Card. My wife threw out... Ooh, thank you so much for the Wadim. My wife threw out my card collection, so I bought a dump to find them all. Thank you for the follow, Beauty Bella. And the lemon was good. And the pizza's good, surprisingly. I don't know how much of this topping is left and how much is burnt, but hey, it's good. These games are both on Steam. They're both on Steam. There we go. And thank you for the hydrate. Do do do. Na 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 na. Oh, the picture, right? I will post both pictures to the Discord real quick. It's gonna be in the photo dump. There you go. Ooh. Okay. Yeah. Boy dinner. Boy dinner. Burnt pizza and an entire lemon. Burnt pizza and entire lemon. Do. So that's I'll probably never do a face reveal, but I'll probably do an in-person meetup at some point. Like I'm a dude. Y'all, not to make y'all disappointed or anything, but I'm a guy. I have a face, I have eyes, hair. You know. I'm a cute guy, if that works. You know, off kind, maybe. I'll probably do. I know, right? You a man. Look, it wasn't my choice. I was born, and they're like, "Hey, yo, dude." And I was like, "Yeah." Like, haha, you answered a dude. Guess who's a man for the rest of your life? And I was like, "Oh no." That's how it happened. So, stay with me. Na 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 na. I couldn't find this game. It's called Trash Lover. It's called Trash Lover. Do you have pets? No, but I've had quite a few people being like, you can walk me like a dog. No, not happening. Sorry. Assigned dork at birth. I was. You should eat another lemon at 5,000. I might. I see no reason not to. I don't know. If I ever do a face reveal, though, I'm going to go like super hardcore working out. I'm going to get like shredded. And then that it's gonna be just absolutely insane. It's not even gonna be like a face shot. It's just gonna be like me at the gym wearing a mask. Do you know what though? I would eat a durian. I would eat a durian. Can you give me motivation to clean my room? Liana Lovegood. Go clean your room right now. Or I can just time you out either way. Go clean your room. When I post photos I draw of you on Twitter, how do I make it so you can actually see it? At Gene. At LuckyJene. At LuckyJene VT. I will see it. Or you can use the hashtag Gene Jart. J Art. Or Lucky Jart is what it is. Lucky Jart is the hashtag for all my art. I'm kind of dumb. Where's the photos? Oh, I posted one on Twitter. By the way, lovelies, if you wanna support me and help me get brand deals because you want to see me make lots of money that I can spend badly, you should follow my Twitter because apparently brands care about Twitter. So I'm gonna post my link here. Follow this. I'm gonna pin it up there. You don't have to. I love the support y'all give me no matter what. This is just something that like brands like. Okay, will you buy us fun stuff for the basement? Yes. I'm gonna buy full VR, by the way. I will buy full dive, like full bodysuit tracking VR. And I will do full body tracking suit VR meetups. And I will do community games, because there's so many fun party games that I used to play, like in Gary's mod, that are on VR chat now. And I'm just, I'm so excited. Your whole model for fan art, it is in the Discord. I will probably post on Twitter again, but it is on the Discord. Buy a ball pit? Yes. Yes. Yes, I will. I will buy a ball pit. I'm gonna get that. Do y'all know? Okay. I can't remember what it was called. I think it was called like DashCon or something a long time ago. It was like a Tumblr convention that like a bunch of people put on for no reason. And it was awful. Well, they had in there a ball pit, and they would give you tickets for the ball pit. And yeah, that's what I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you a tiny little ball pit to stay in it. Yep. The DashCon girl is also the girl who is that 9mm? What the heck? Is also the girl who accidentally got scurvy. She got scurvy, which is hilarious to me. Do you want to know how she got scurvy? And okay, some of you might not know what scurvy is, so let's talk about scurvy real quick. Do y'all know what scurvy is? Okay, yeah, there we go. Scurvy is a pirate disease. And the reason I call it a pirate disease is because pirates used to get it. And here's what happens. Every old wound you ever had on your body opens up. Your body quits stitching the wounds that you have, so you start bleeding from every old wound you ever had. Okay? Would you like to know how to cure it? So remember, somebody had this disease, and it's like, oh my god, all of my old nightmares and scars and battle wounds are opening up. I'm being haunted by the mistakes of my pasts. Eat an orange! Eat an orange! Imagine all you gotta do is eat an orange and that's it. An orange, a lemon, and so no, what was happening was, we're gonna increase the graphics. She was drinking Mountain Dew. She was drinking Mountain Dew. And for some reason in her head, she's like, oh, Mountain Dew has citrus in it. It's citrus flavored. That should be fine. Yeah, Mountain Dew doesn't have enough vitamin D. Well, oranges, lemons, any citrus will be good. Am I missing something here? Okay, wait. Okay, we have R. How do I need to buy a, oh. Okay. Do I? Mountain Dew is lemon lime. It doesn't have lemons in it or limes in it. It has citric acid. Look at this guy. Oh, wait. Where'd he go? No. Why are you in the box? Wait, why is he in the box? Where'd he go? He's gone. No, don't sell him. I didn't want to sell him. Well, the hamster's gone now. I'm sorry, y'all. Hamster's gone forever. What are you playing? So this is, it's in the thing. This is, my wife threw out all of my cards, so I bought the dump to find them. It gives the vibe of isekai, but also looks like I have to drink, oh, oops, don't want that. I have to drink energy drinks. There's no sleeping, so we drink energy drinks. What's the button for it? Yes. To have enough energy to pick up trash. I think I could live off Mountain Dew. You cannot live off Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew has a, okay. Did you know that the Mountain Dew formula in the United States isn't in most countries? You can't get the Mountain Dew that's in most, in America and most countries. Because it has things like thickening agents in it and stuff, which is so funny to me. I drink nothing but Mountain Dew for like a month. Did you know that your kidneys can hurt? Your kidneys can hurt. I didn't know that was a thing that I could feel pain in. Yeah. It was, yep, I had nothing but we need some music. Wait. Okay. There we go. Y'all can hear the game, by the way, right? Give me a second. Yeah, game volume good? Good, good, good. Your laughter. Malts have thickener added? Wait, is Mountain Dew a malt? Am I okay? No. oh, you mean because of the Mountain Dew? I am now? I quit drinking all that soda. I do drink water all the time. Makes sense. What's a malt? I don't know what a malt is. Labubu! Do we keep it? Do we keep the Labubu? This is what I need. No, we don't. Keep it? Okay, we're keeping it. Hey, what's this? Upgrades. Ooh, upgrades! Dog. We can buy a dog. All right, we're gonna keep going. I'm such a good doggy. We're keeping the Labubu. One day we'll get a dog. A Lafufu. Sorry, it's a Lafufu. My B. Do you ever make a Jean Labubu? Pinky did. You would... Ooh! Oh, it's Half-Life! It's Half-Life. It's Half-Life. It's Half-Life 3, y'all. That's what happened. I had it the entire time. Is your model a doggy, a kitty? I am technically a dog. But I'm also a human, because look at my ears. Look at my human ears. What kind of dog has human ears? See? I'm a human. Hey, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the menagerie. Okay, so I'm gonna educate you all. It's fake human ears. Wow. Let's educate you, everybody here on our community, because there's a bunch of new people. First off, my community is the menagerie, because y'all are a collection of animals. And every individual viewer is a voidling. The voidlings are so adorable. I can possibly show you all a quick little snapshot of a voidling. But we are still waiting on the official final ref sheet for the voidlings before anybody does any fan art. Half dog, half human. That's valid. I have a tongue twister for what you call this. Ooh, give me a tongue twister. Yes. All right. Save it for the final sheet. Okay, we'll wait for now. But give me a tongue twister. I will happily have a tongue twister. LuckyJene, fight me. Half dog, half bad. I'm a bad dog. What does the cart even do? Energy. Yes. Imagine an imaginary menagerie, manager managing an imaginary menagerie. Imagine an imaginary menagerie, manager managing an imaginary menagerie. Imagine an imaginary menagerie, manager managing an imaginary menagerie. I love that! Oh, that's so good. Keep it. Somebody take it. It's mine now. You're not allowed to keep it. It's mine. I love tongue twisters. Y'all do not understand how much I love tongue twisters. Necro, you're fine. But voidlings are adorable. So, I'll give you a little bit of lore on the voidlings, okay? Voidlings are little fragments of a larger entity. They are crafted, or basically they're taken from the void, and they are put into a little plush that is handcrafted by LuckyJene. The plush allows them to be bound to the material plane, and thus you have an adorable little voidling. A big black bear found a big black bug, and the big black bug bit the big black bear, and the big black bear bled blood. Oh, that one's fun. My friend one time had to learn how to do this for, you think a sinister mister illicitly? Oh, okay, illicitly. You think a sinister minister illicitly solicited a conspirator? It's a conspirator, right? Am I messing up that word? Oh, 100%. The thing is, because the voidlings are like void entities, you can mix and match any sort of animal traits you want. No, I gotta do that one again. I didn't get it first. Give me a second. Give me a second. Here we go. You think a sinister minister illicitly solicited a conspirator. You think a sinister minister illicitly solicited a conspirator. Mother pheasant plucker is my favorite. Yeah, mother pheasant plucker. One doctor doctors another doctor does the doctoring. Doctor the way the doctored doctor wants, or how the doctoring doctor wants. Wait. That doesn't make any sense. One doctor doctors another doctor. Does the doctoring doctor doctor the way the doctored doctor wants, or how the doctoring doctor wants? I like that. The six sheep sick. Okay, wait. The six sick sheik is chic, right? The six sick. Ooh. S's. Six sick chic. Six sheep's sick. Six sick chic. Six sheep's sick. The sixth sick chic. Six sheep sick. Okay, got it. I thought wasn't the thought I thought. If the thought I thought if the thought I thought had been the thought I thought, I wouldn't have thought so much. What do you mean? So when do you make the plushies? Does that mean every plushie is like a physical representation of a voidling? Oh, yes. So voidlings have to be bound to something of value, or else they can't really exist. And so every voidling plush would have to be handmade by Gene. It won't actually be, obviously. Voidlings can also be bound to other objects that have meaning or value. For instance, if I had a $100 bill, I could bind a voidling to a $100 bill. Or you could bind them to, like, a guitar that you really liked. And in certain situations, a voidling can be bound to a memory. But remember, the thing that it's bound to is used during that situation. So if it's bound to a memory, well... Not spilling too much. Oh, that's a good question. You'll have to find out later. But yes, it's going to be a great story. I'm very excited for everything. And I love Vo for working on this with me. They helped me plan out a lot of the story. They do all of the design art for it. I mean, ooh, they're amazing with all their art. So if you haven't checked out Aiko yet, Aiko, can you please raise your hand? Go check them out. Follow them on any platform. They'll be doing amazing things. A skunk sat on a stump and thunk the stump stunk. A skunk sat on a stump and thunk the stump skunk. Whoa. A skunk sat on a stump and thunk... No, it's gone. Come back. I need this one. I want that one. Where'd it go? That one looked fun. Oh, wait. I like people. I'd like some paper people. They'd be purple paper. Whoa. I like people. I'd like some paper people. They'd be purple paper. Paper? Wow. Okay, no, that one's good. I like people. I'd like some paper people. They'd be purple paper. Paper. I like people. I'd like some paper people. They'd be purple paper people. Maybe pop-up purple paper people. Proper pop-up purple paper people. That one's good. Oh, and wait, I saw another one here. I saw another one here. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. A skunk sat on a stump and thunk the stump skunk. Oh, nope. A skunk sat on a stump and thunk the stump. A skunk sat on a stump and thunk the stump. Wow, okay. A skunk sat on a stump and thunk the stump stunk, but the stump thunk the skunk stunk. That one's fun. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. But I feel you. I feel you. You'll have a good one. Also, y'all let me know if the music gets to be too much, okay? And thank you all for the follows and welcome to the menagerie. You like the music? Good, I do too. Bitcoin! We're selling the Bitcoin. Wait, this is a... Do you all know the reference? Do you all know the Bitcoin... Do you all know the Bitcoin story? Oh, by the way, if you're buying subs on... Give me a second. I gotta do this real quick for y'all. If you are buying subs and you want to buy a sub, and you are on iPhone, do not buy them through the app. Do not buy them through the app. Let's see. You want to buy them through the website, so you want to go onto the mobile browser. And so let me just send you the mobile... I'll send you the mobile link right now. You can click the mobile link and buy it through there instead. Twitch.tv channel. Okay, yeah. So here's the link to me. If you click that link and you buy through the mobile site instead, it's going to be cheaper for you. Because iPhone takes a certain percentage of it, and so it increases the price. I get no additional money for the additional cost. That all goes to Apple. But yes, okay, so the Bitcoin thing. Back when Bitcoin was just kind of starting up, a guy put his Bitcoin onto a USB, or put his key to his wallet onto his USB. So he would need the USB to activate his Bitcoin wallet. He had multiple Bitcoin on there. Over like 100,000 some worth of it. It got thrown out. And so he bought the dump in attempts to find the Bitcoin. He's been searching for that one coin, that one USB stick somewhere in there. So, yep. That is why we just found a Bitcoin. I think he did give up recently. Which, to be fair, yeah. Oh, 100%. You could probably be bound to a playing card. All it matters, though, is that something is bound that is of emotional value or any value to Gene. Oh, another Half-Life. I'll sell the... Ooh, wait. Half a... Okay, we'll sell this copy. And we're gonna buy a dog. As well as beer, apparently. Where's my dog? Oh. Oh, what? 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 I have to buy more parts of the... There's so much rubbish! This is gonna go on for a while. Yes, but if that piece of plant cutting withers, we'll see what happens with the voidling. That's why you have to be careful what you bound. Oh, can I do a British accent? I don't think I can do one yet. I'm still working on it. Every time I try to do it, it comes off more Australian than anything. But I do my best. I will do my best as I can. We're working on it. Can you find my hopes and dreams in the dump? I will try. I am so excited. I am so excited. Ah! This is so much. This is so cool. Like, I mean, like, look how much there is that I get to go through. And I get to clear away the trash. Oh, why are you going to make me do this voice? Why do you like this one? I know you like this voice so much for some reason. The Hertford, really? All right, I mean, if anybody wants to send me links to British accents to learn, just definitely let me know, and I'm still working on it. Well, see, the big thing I like about this is that I like games like this where there's like a physical change to what I'm doing, and like with this, I get a lot of that, you know? Oh, did I remove nerdy? We'll add nerdy back. Try a whiny Brit. So you want me just to sound British and just normal? I mean, what? I would never say that. I'm kidding. British people, I do love you. I do love you. My first kiss was with a British girl. Thank you for the bonk. Yeah, the first kiss I ever had was with the British girl in Germany. Yeah, I think that's what the problem is. I think I talk too Australian. Oh, pizza. Ah, my arm. All right, we're back. Yummy. What the heck is? What is this song? Yes. I think it gave your arm pain. Oh, I still have my arm pain. Pizza's good, actually. Oh yeah. Throwback Sunday. That's right, y'all. All right, going back to the top. We're making a volcano. You have an Australian accent? Oh, I bet you do. I bet you do. I mean, honestly, I could talk like this all day. It's one of my favorite ones to do. Oh, do y'all have another voice redeem I've been missing here? Should probably eat too. You should. Oh, another plane. Like this one. Very nice. We missed Crime Friday. Y'all did miss Crime Friday. Nobody committed any crimes. What happened? Where were all the crimes? Thank you for the follow. Welcome. Ooh, Labubu! We're getting rid of this. Yeah, we decided that Fridays were crime days. I just didn't admit to. Oh, we all committing crimes? Hamster. Wait, so y'all committed crime without what? Really? You didn't tell me about the crimes you were committing? I did accidentally ban you. That was funny. I got this. All the way to the center. You're fused? Come on, my ex threw out all my diamond rings, even my wedding ring that was his mom's. What? And because we moved and the bag... Got it. Sarah, what the... You got it. We'll have to make sure your next ex is better. I'm sorry, your next partner is better, not your next ex. Oh, by the way, apparently I have a dog, but I don't see the dog. I don't know if anybody else sees the dog. Oh. Hello, dog. Go do something, dog. I believe in you. All right. Let's get better garbage bags. No one actually admit to. Everybody admit to doing your crimes. Everybody admit to your crimes. Tell me all of your crimes. He is creepy. I love ska. Arson? Nice. That's fair. Give the dog a name. Swagman33. His name is Swagman33. I'm the best at names. What's all the accent I can do? Don't know. We have German, we can do that one pretty nicely, but I can also just speak German when I want. I can just go, Hallo, meine liebe Leute. Was ist los? Geht alles gut? Ja. Geht auch gut mit mich, aber mein Deutsch ist nicht so gut und so ich glaube, ich soll kein Deutsch sprechen. You commit cannibalism. You nuked your brother's house? What? German is fun. I'm currently trying to learn Japanese. That one's taking a while. My brain just shut off. Brain gone. Ooh, Half-Life. Yee. Ooh! Switch! Or is this a Steam? What do you think this is? This is like a Switch, right? Oh, what are you doing, dog? Ooh, look at this! Golden play button. Broke into your house so I could live in the basement? That makes sense. Stolen GPU? Valid, valid, valid. Why are you putting ice in your cereal? What? Oh, I'm paying a teacher every Thursday, which we'll see if I can get a sponsorship with this company. If I can, then I'll start promoting it. Sorry, every Tuesday at about 8 o'clock, I take a Japanese lesson for about 30 minutes. I have learned like 14 kanji? Or was it hiragana? I don't remember which one is easier. Why would I use, do I speak French? I do not, but I'd love to learn it. Why, who uses ice for cereal? That's not a thing, right? Wait, is that a thing? Okay, no, raise your hand if you put ice in your cereal. Apple juice and muesli? Okay. All right, no, give me. Okay, what's the weirdest thing? What is the weirdest thing y'all enjoy? Like a combo that you think nobody else does. Peanut butter and yogurt? That doesn't seem too crazy to me. I could definitely see that. I mean, there's peanut butter yogurt. Sour cream, black olives, and tortilla. Nothing else but sour cream and black olives? Chocolate-covered ants. Weird, but not crazy. I think I would totally go for chocolate-covered ants. Chicken strips dipped in ice cream. Okay, we're getting weird. Honey and Gouda. That sounds amazing. That sounds amazing. Cheetos with pixie stick powder. All right, now Kitty wins this. Ranch on my noodles. Ranch is fine. Ranch goes on everything. Cauliflower and chocolate. Hi, wrong turn. Ham pickles and cream cheese. Not crazy. Twitters? Twitters? What do you mean Twitters? The website? Pizza and milk? Ooh. That belongs in an asylum. Nutella, no, chocolate goes in potato chips. Salty and sweet is so good. Wait. Sardines with a little mustard? You can buy sardines in mustard. That's not too crazy. I think you're good. Goldfish and soda. How about this? How about this? Y'all start sending me your weird food combinations. Message me on Twitter. I'm gonna make a post for weird food combinations. Y'all respond with what your weirdest food combinations is, And maybe for a special, I will do a trying your weird food combinations on stream. Would y'all be into that? What if we make it up? I have no way of knowing. I have no way of knowing. Now, don't get me wrong. There will be some things I straight up will not do, okay? Like, if it's gonna be something that's gonna cause me any sort of physical illness or, you know, it's just an insane extreme. But a lot of stuff I'm willing to try. I like weird combinations. Cyanide. You know what? I'd consider it. All right, you know what? I'm gonna make the Twitter post now. And you all can respond to it. We could have some time now while it's fresh in our memories. Send me your weird food combos, and I'll try them on stream for my next milestone. Bam. Post. We're gonna do a little copy here. Yes, you should clean your pigsty of a room, and you can also come clean mine as well. Raw. Come here, just going raw. There we go. I didn't say it sounds bad. You can do ones that sound bad, but like as long as it is edible, I will try it. I'd even eat durian. Oh, Poppy. I would eat Spam without cooking it. I have. I eat Vienna sausages. It's the same thing. For health, you pull death. Well, remember health. So death is also an end. Remember, death is also an end. So it could be that in health issues coming to an end, or it could be that you're exiting a healthy period in your life. It doesn't always mean literal, but I do feel you. Tiny weenies. Oh, I love Vienna sausages. Or I like doing. You ever get? I don't know how many of you have this in other countries. Do y'all have Pillsbury, like biscuits? No, okay, no, that's already wrong. Like Pillsbury croissants. You know, okay, we gotta look it up. Give me a second. I'm gonna show y'all what I'm talking about. Okay, you do? You do? Perfect. Okay, so you take those, you take Vienna sausages, and you wrap them up and make little pigs in a blanket. Yeah, there you go. There you go. And those are so good. You don't like biscuits at all? All right, I guess we're gonna do the Southern voice right now. I got y'all. No, that ain't a sausage roll. All right, then what's a pig in a blanket? Educate me then. Y'all, it's been so much fun going from the center out. But Greg's is different. No. Carmilla, you're wrong. You are absolutely wrong. How is that a blanket? Wait, no, I've been to Greg's, and Greg's is good. I like Greg's. What do you mean it has cabbage? What do you mean it has cabbage? Wait, does every nation have its own pigs in a blanket? Is this a common thing? Playing it, hot dogs wrapped in a biscuit, not biscuit as in cookies, but Wait a second, y'all. All right, I'm gonna need to make a post later on where we discuss pigs in a blanket, because everybody's describing something different right now. And everybody's describing something different in the same country. This sounds so cool. I could see like one or two differences, but there are so much differences in the same country. That's amazing. I'm excited. I want to learn all about y'all's food. Oh, I should probably do an upgrade. Give me a second. What do we got? We're gonna do some garbage bags, some power. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, so for me growing up, it was always wrapped up in croissants. And yeah, that's fair. America is a little bit massive. You don't like it? That's fine. Everybody's got their own thing. Well, I mean, apparently you can try 1,000 different things and you might get a different thing each time. They're all gonna be pigs in a blanket. Have you seen those maps of the US with different... I have. Do you think there's one for pigs in a blanket? God, I'm loving this. I'm loving this. I'm loving this game so much. Y'all don't know how much I'm loving this. I know this might not be everybody's game, but for me, this is absolutely perfect. Have I seen an actual pig wrapped in a blanket? I have. There we go. My absolute favorite food is something I've only eaten once. It's called sarma. It's a sirloin rice falafel. Ooh. Oh, that sounds good. You know what? I'll try anything. We'll start having some food streams where y'all can tell me some cool foods that y'all love. I'm all for it. Yeah. What's for? Ah, Miss Wildstyle, welcome to the menagerie. Wait, am I still being Southern? Oh, we're good. I can stop that. Haggis. Oh, I love haggis. Oh, haggis is good. I like haggis. I like haggis. I have been to Greg's. So, okay. Can I say something positive about England real quick and nobody judge me? Nobody's allowed to judge me for talking positively about England real quick. So I stayed in England for a while. Me and my ex got tattoos while I was there, and we rented a car and we drove around on the English like roads, like the whatever their interstate's called, and I loved their roads. They're so big and wide. And people always go to the proper lanes, the motorway. People always go to the proper lanes. I mean, like, they always go, oh, you're going faster? You go further to the side. Oh, you're going slower? Okay, we're going to get back on the side. And so there was always an open lane unless traffic was really, really bad. And along the motorway are all of these rest stops. And the rest stops always have, like, they're nice and clean. I did drive the M60. I know for, like, y'all, it sucks. Trust me, I lived in Atlanta for a while. You have not dealt with bad roads. Your worst roads were compared to some of the best ones. And all these rest stops, though, all the rest stops that I went to were really clean, were really nice. They had Greg's, almost always had a Greg's. Had a little place for you to gamble if you wanted, and had a place to shower. And I drove from Wales. I drove from Wales to London. I drove all around London. I drove all sorts of places, and it was nice. Yeah, and I know, like, you all, like, oh, they're dirty. The thing is, you all, what you consider dirty is so much different than what I consider dirty. So yeah, it was lovely. It was absolutely lovely. And I would 100% drive in England again, given the opportunity. How's it going? It's going pretty nice. How's it going with you? Hi, Shark Girly Pop. Welcome to the menagerie. And hello, Miss Wild Style. Welcome to the menagerie. Okay, what's... I think I've tried Pazol. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but you wanna walk me through what those are. Like explain them to me, and I can tell you if I've done them before. I love this. Oh, I love this. Really? Yeah, explain to me what that is. Oh, Carmia, thank you so much for the subs. I don't like the smell or the food item. Oh, I love food. Pig fat? Ooh. Oh, but haggis? Yeah, haggis is sheep intestine. And it's delicious when it's made right. It's stuffed sheep intestine. A hogmaw? What is hogmaw? Which, to be fair, so is hot dogs. Hot dogs is also just stuffed organs. Ligma. Ligma balls. Moo new dough. I just realized you have to pick up the empty cans that you drink. Wait, I have to pick up the empty cans. What? I didn't realize. Oh no. Oh, you're right. Bangers and mash is solid. Beef tripe. Okay, nice. Oh, let's up my energy a little bit here. Oh, this is the best. This is the best. I hope you all know I'm going to be playing this game for a long time. I'm going to be playing this game for a long, long time. I'm beating this game. Right. This is the game we want to beat. Yeah, I beat a lot of games. Okay. No. We're gonna talk about this real quick because I keep getting comments. Gene, you don't beat any games. Gene, you've never beat a game on stream. Gene, blah 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 blah. I beat Crime Scene Cleaner all the way through. Oh, Gene, have you ever had cow tongue? I have had cow tongue, but the one time I had cow tongue was at the worst place possible. And I've had tripe. I went to a Mexican place, but it was definitely a white Mexican place, so they did not make it properly. So I will try it again. The first time I've ever had it, which I should have known when the most seasoned person there was paler than I was, that I shouldn't have been eating there. So, yeah, I will be trying tongue again at some point in time. Okay. Games I've beaten on stream. 7 Days to Die, we made it to the end content. Resident Evil 4, I beat here. I beat Inscription, which wasn't... Y'all haven't seen that one. I did beat Dispatch. I beat Mortuary Assistant. I beat Crime Scene Cleaner. I beat Karma the Dark World. I beat Me-Side on stream, which was before... a long time ago now. Far Cry 3 I beat, but not on stream, so it doesn't count. I did beat Ib. Still Wakes the Deep I did beat on stream. And Limbo I beat on stream. Road 96 I reached quite a few endings, but I didn't fully beat because there's multiple endings. Yeah, and so there's a bunch of games. See? Thank you for the headbats. I want to go to Guatemala. I do want to go to Guatemala. Have you had Rocky Mountain oysters? I have not, but I know what they are. He would never beat Genshin? Oh, Genshin probably bores me just by looking at it. When am I beating Minecraft? I'm working on it! All right, we're going back to the Southern Voice. Thank you. Ooh, man, look at all these little hamsters we got. That chicken grinder was essential. Did y'all notice that I made a chicken grinder off stream? Not only did I make a chicken grinder, but I also made an egg maker for my chicken grinder. I built a second chicken grinder that just makes eggs. Oh, the Coffee and Chocolate Museum? That sounds amazing. I will try Rocky Mountain oysters. Don't misunderstand me. I'd 100% try about anything. Here we go. There we go. Nice. One second, I gotta focus for a bit while I put this all in there. Hey! Alright, sorry, we're back. I need to preface this, I don't generally like meat. I have to eat it because blah, 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 blah. Medical, medical, medical. I'm alive, I just taste kind of like chicken. It was jerky, though. Alright, fair enough. Alright, y'all? Favorite color, right now. What's your favorite color? How do I like my steak? Depends on the cut of meat. I'm sorry, I'm about to get a little pompous on this. I'm about to get pompous on this, y'all. Different cuts of meat should be cooked different ways. And every kind of steak needs to be cooked a different way. Because due to the fat content, due to the cut. For instance, you ain't gonna do a, what's it called? It's like a Denver tri-tip or something like that. You need to cook it slow, and you can't just throw it in a pan. Like, a lot of these shouldn't be done in a pan. Some of them should be done on a grill. Some should be roasted. Some should be blah, 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 blah. So if you were gonna get like a New York strip, I'm just gonna get like medium rare, maybe medium. You're gonna get me a basic steak, I'm gonna do a basic cook. Just enough to get quality of the meat if it's an alright quality. But if it's a poor quality, it really don't matter how you're gonna cook it. Honestly, I care more about the sides at that point. Now, if it's a really, really good quality steak, maybe I'll get it rare or something. But if you get something like Wagyu, you need to cook that until at least medium or medium rare, because there has this massive fat content that you need to render. But if you don't cook it at high enough temperature, the fat is not going to become all ooey gooey, and then you're just going to have a really, really pricey, boring piece of meat. So yeah. Ooey gooey. And I can stop with the accent again. Are y'all just listing colors? Oh, we're talking about colors. I forgot about colors. I got focused on the steak. Thank you for the follow. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Your humps whenever you decide something or your mouth has nothing to do. Your hums whether... Oh. Why do y'all like them? Why do y'all like my I want to make you brisket, please do. Okay, so I was watching the football game, Raiders vs. Chargers. Okay, my day raised me as a Raiders, and he called me over to come watch the game, but we lost, and he was cussing Gino out, and my mom lectured him and made him put money in the swear jar. Oh! Okay, y'all, so... me and Ahmad went to lunch the other day. It was a lot of fun. And, what am I thinking? Right. On my way home, I was driving, and I saw this guy hold his hand out the window, doing this kind of, like, fist symbol, and I'm like, okay, what's going on here? And then I looked down at his bumper, and I saw, do you know what a ratchet strap is? For those of you who don't know, a ratchet strap is something that you would use to, ratchet down something to your truck so it doesn't, fall out of your car. It might be a little sturdy, right? He was towing a truck with a ratchet strap and had a friend in the truck only doing the brakes. Yeah, So, so safe, right? No blinkers, no warning lights, no flags. He was just going for it. And I was like, oh, God, no. This is why you get a trailer or get a buddy with a trailer or something, please. So yeah. Do I sing? I do sing, but I have an audio issue right now that I'm still trying to fix. You might not notice it now, but I'm picking up Spanish radio on my microphone. I found out today what it was. I'm picking up Spanish radio on my microphone. And so whenever I'm doing recording or I'm trying to do voice acting stuff, it causes this weird static in the background. So I'm buying new cables, and if that doesn't work, I'm taking my equipment to a professional studio to test it there. I think there might be like a radio frequency, like an AM radio station somewhere nearby, and it's just being picked up. Or it's a next door neighbor playing the radio. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. But so once I can get that fixed, that is when I'll be doing song covers and stuff. Because it's too difficult right now to get that, like, the static out. I have plenty of, like, filters going over my microphone in OBS right now. But also, when I'm doing, like, video games and stuff, it covers up the sound of the static. I already got myself new cables. So I'll be okay with that. I need to go to like a studio space at least, so like if it isn't these cables, because the cables are like, they're not expensive. I need to go to the studio and just be like, run through my equipment, and maybe I can figure out what part it is. Stream, thank you for the check-in. And also, Dreamy, welcome to the menagerie. Well, that's the thing, I bought some really nice shielded cables, and they helped a lot, but I might have gotten scammed because I just talked to my audio buddy, and he's like, yeah, gold plating does nothing. And I'm like, oh, okay, so maybe I spent too much on this. But now I bought, like, better cables that he recommended, and he does professional voice acting. Have I stretched? Oh, my bad. There we go. So hopefully what he's suggesting will be what I need, you know. And the cables I'm getting now are like not that expensive. Maybe I need a sound booth. Oh man, if I could get a sound booth, I've been looking at them. They're so expensive. But that's the dream. That is the dream. One day, if we go full time, voice acting, singing, all that. Why'd I throw the trash in there? I will 100% like get a whole sound booth. It's because of oxidation prevention. Thank you. Build a sound booth. I would need to know more about like frequency isolation. If any of you are like sound editors or like sound engineers and you want to, you know, walk me through what to do, hit me up. Wait. Who said they're giving up on art? Who's giving up on art? Misaki, you're not giving up on art. You will get better at art. Art takes practice, and art takes understanding. If you need some help with doing some art stuff, I can't teach you how to do art, but I can give you a how to get better at art. I know how to get better at art. I just don't have the time and patience for it. Woodling radio station? Ooh, that'd be fun. But yes, I mean, what you should do if you really want to get good at art, here, I'm gonna send you all a link to something. You're gonna do what's called gesture drawing. And you're gonna start practicing doing gesture drawing. We have quick pose, this is really good for it. Use this. Every day, do short gesture drawings. This is just to learn how like the motion of the body functions. And you just draw. Do these. Even if you have art block, do gesture drawings every day. Work on it. Work on it. And as you pick it up, you'll start inspiring yourself. This is Albert Einstein stuff. I'm explaining to you. Oh, I don't know if I talked about something else earlier, but I can't remember what we're talking about. So, jester, as in like G-U, like expressions. Okay. So Einstein had some of his biggest discoveries while working at the patent office, where he was going through really, really boring stuff. And the same thing here is with art. If you do these drawings every day, you slowly develop the habit, and you get to the mental point where you can start like thinking creatively again, because your brain's going to be like looking for something to do. And so it helps a lot. Also, you artists who only draw characters, start drawing backgrounds. Draw backgrounds. Draw the ground. Because it will elevate your art to an extent that you will not realize your art. Yep, draw backgrounds. Here, I'll post it again. My bad. I'll pin it. But you need to draw backgrounds. It'll make your art so much nicer, and it will elevate you. Trust me, I had a friend who was like feeling really crampy about their art, and they felt like they sucked, and suddenly they drew backgrounds like, oh, my art's actually good. It just was incomplete. Work on them, practice them. They'll make you a better artist. In fact, you know what? I'm punishing you to only draw backgrounds. You have to do one piece, and it's only a background. You're not allowed to have a subject in the foreground. That's a challenge. You're gonna draw the basement. You're gonna draw the basement. However you want to decorate the basement, you're gonna draw the basement. No, not you, Aiko! Not you! Not you, Aiko! You're drawing the voidlings, you're designing them! And you can do that while you're watching stream! You can do that while you're watching stream! You got a joke for me? As long as it's safe for work, yes. You know, do them. Practice them. If you can only draw backgrounds, you're going to draw characters. You're going to work on drawing. You can draw animals, you can draw people, you can draw whatever, but you need to step out of your comfort zone a little bit. Remember, art is a spectrum of things you need to learn. If you only draw one thing, you won't get good at the rest. And learning how to get good at one part, even if you're only okay at it, will make you good at everything else too. You can finish drawing your OCs. If you're working on a piece currently, you can finish those. Bass. Ooh, play the bass. Bass is good. Morphos anatomy. Morphos anatomy. Morphos simplified anatomy. If you're having difficulty with anatomy, this is Morphos. Let me use simplified anatomy for artists. Simplified forms is what it's called. I'm going to give you all a link real quick. This is heads up. You didn't get this from me. You didn't get this from me. That is Morphos simplified forms. Use it for anatomy, okay? Practice these. Work on these. They'll make you amazing. And stretch your wrists. Stretch your fingers. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Also, thank you. Thank you for the follow, Sniper Mask, and thank you for the follow, Solo Gambit. Welcome to the menagerie. And you too, Rookie. And you, Dreamy Bean. And you, Rye Bread. I missed a lot of people. I'm sorry. I'm really in the zone right now. Oh, I sent them there. They're pinned at the top of the chat. I'm just sending them in the chat. If you have links turned off, that might be the issue. Stretch your fingers. Okay, you know what? We're doing this together. Everybody stop what you're doing. We're doing this together. Let's see. This one is... We'll do. I don't care what you're doing. You're taking a break. We're all doing this together. Thank you for the hydrate. We'll do in just a second. And thank you for the follow. All right. Here we go. Wait, you can't hear it, can you? Y'all can't hear it? 1 second. All right, you ready? Hand stretches time. Let's go. Stretch. We're stretching. We're fixing. You need to do this or you're going to get carpal tunnel and you're going to ruin your ability to draw, do art, game. This is important to do. We're practicing. Every day you should be doing this. I only do this because I care about you. Come on. This helps with writing too. Don't do that too hard. Do it slowly. Not too fast. Do it slowly. Stuff's gonna pop. Just do the exercises nice and slow. Okay? This hurts all the way up to your elbow. If it's massive amounts of pain, you may have done something too aggressive. That's fair. That was enough. You all did good. I'm proud of you. No. You did enough. If you did up to there, you're good. Just little bits of stuff. Okay? Just little bits of stuff. Little stretches when you can. All right? Seriously. Take it easy. Don't go too hard. Stretch your fingies. Sometimes you just put them on your desk. You did amazing. I'm proud of you. And just because you do yoga doesn't mean that you focus on your fingers. The fingers get ignored too often. I am... Can I be honest with y'all? I am genuinely proud of so many of you. I see all of you trying. I see all of you doing art again that you haven't done for a while. I see so many of you just like, you know, learning, expanding, trying things, okay? And I see so many of you who've like kind of like lost passion with certain things, starting to do them again. And I appreciate that. Like I'm very happy to see all of you starting to have passions and things again and trying things that you haven't done for years. Even trying new things. So, you know, go back to studying. Enjoy your studying. Asher, go practice bass. You better learn how to play YZZ. And please do, man. You don't know how much I love when people make art of me. I love the art. I get so excited every time I see new art. It is so cool. Y'all are doing great. And y'all make this community. This community would be nothing without you, so thank you.
I was sitting on the porch with my cards in hand. Every rare I get from across the line. But one sad morning she slammed
And you know what?
the door, said I'm taking out the trash. Don't need these.
I haven't seen the work in progress channel. I haven't looked at it for a little bit. But I will say, like, and y'all put so much effort into this community as well. Like, it would be one thing for me to post all these videos and do these things and nobody respond or interact with any of them. But y'all always come out and, you add little comments and little messages and y'all play along. It just makes it so much fun. Can I make my character without arms? Sure.
That man's gone mad.
The Void does support itself. The Void is a strong, independent black woman that don't need no man.
But I ain't searching for
I love the Void. Y'all are amazing.
the legends that once filled my hands. She took the trash and my dreams with it.
Beer. Garbage. Oh, hi, Pocky. Can we get a shout out for Pocky? Oh, and hello, Luna Rose, little minx. Welcome to the menagerie. I believe it. Little Pocky VT. They are a fantastic streamer. We've raided into them, I think only one time, but I loved the energy they had. So they're definitely on my list of people I'd love to raid. Twyla, so can I be a space-themed Voidling? 100% you could be. My own poster? That would be so cool. Your EP? I'll get some Eeps, Carnia. Oh, we are getting some new mods very soon. I just need to tag the time to get into group chats with them. So, you know, y'all be ready to support and love the new mods when they come in, okay? Treat them as well as you do our current mods, if not better. How do you roll your R's? So, okay. Yeah. Part of the tongue touches across, it touches the top of your mouth, so I think for me it is the right side of my tongue is pushed up near where my teeth are, and then air is pushed out to make the tip go up and down. Yeah. I'm proud of you. Good job. And it takes practice. The thing is, like, okay, Jim Carrey as a comedian would sit in his car before a set and he'd look at himself in the rearview mirror and he'd just do faces. He'd move his eyes. He'd try to figure out where the muscles were to move different, like, parts of his face, so he could, like, change who he looks like in an instant. The thing is, you can do the same thing with any speaking. It just takes some, like, effort to learn, right? Oh, thank you for the head pats. Thank you for the stretch. So if you want to learn how to do it, practice. And just try to feel where your tongue is and move it around. And blow air and go, and different kind of things, you know? It's fun. Would you like me to share a song I'm writing when it's done? 100% I'd love to hear a song. I would love to hear that. Bye, Alex. Have a good one. There is. I clean my room. I'm proud of you. I'm glad you cleaned your room. Good job. Where's Discord? Exclamation point Discord. We'll pull up the link. If you're on iPhone, you may need to use the desktop website, so not like on a computer, but going to your browser instead of the desktop app or the Discord app. I'm gonna make sure we at least finish this one pile of trash today. All right. Nice. We're gonna increase the cart. Nice. Oh yeah, so that will be happening later on. That's gonna be coming out at the end of December, start of January. Because that's when we'll be starting to do all the writing, trying to do a novel writing month. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Gibbets, 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 don't, gibbets, 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 gibbets. Don't do it, gibbets. Definitely Jump Fox. You ever want to post them to Discord? I'll look at them. Don't go cutting your hair just because you're feeling the vibe right now. Plan out the haircut first. Plan out the haircut first. Self-expression is fine. But I know how easy that is and how that goes. Oh, this is all this music, by the way, is music from this game. So I don't know. There's no song link. You don't have to wrap up. So you do have to do a new story for January, but you don't have to finish your current one. Y'all don't be cutting your hair. It might be, which is a bit disappointing. But I don't want silence. Should I play music? Wait, what if we pause this music and we play our own music? Wait a second. We're gonna play my own music. Let me play mine. What kind of music do I want to listen to? How many words do I need to do for the novel? 1,667 every day. Ends up being 55,000 by the end. We're gonna do... Thought Patrol. Thought Patrol. I love this song. I love this song. She did such a good job voice acting. Hey, congratulations, Mel. Very proud of you. Nice. That's fine. Congratulations. Dun, 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 dun. Banger song. Thank you. Oh. Yeah, is anybody worn out? Are we good? We're doing a longer stream. What's the vibe? I mean, feel free, like, if you need to head out, to head out. I want to finish this pile. I'm gonna finish this pile. I need to find at least one card, okay? If we can find our first card, then I'll be ready. But she did such a great job with this, with everything she's been doing lately. I'm very proud of her. Feel free, yeah. Get y'all some food. All right, can I get a bigger bag? Ooh, we need more. My knees. Bye. Have a wonderful time. Yeah, everybody needs sleeps. Feel free to do so. Because I'm not gonna be doing anything like unique or special today. I'm just gonna be playing this until we finish a pile of trash. Not wonderful. Oh, well, enjoy your thing. This is Hose Depressed by Thought Patrol. Oh, do a whole head of color. Y'all, I had what was it? I had pastel pink once. But the best part about getting your hair pastel pink is they have to take it almost white. And so when it faded, the color that it faded to was still gorgeous. And then I eventually accidentally dyed it clown red because I didn't realize getting did you know that hair dye shampoo, you know, the shampoo you're supposed to use to extend your color, has hair dye in it? I didn't realize it had hair dye in it. So I just dyed my hair clown red on accident. God, my yeah. Just want to make something. So look, but it was still cute. It was still cute. I still look good with it. My hair was so big and fluffy. I don't have any of those like videos anymore, but if I did, I'd definitely show y'all how fluffy my hair was. My hair's currently pinkish purple. Nice. Bye, Pocky. Be good. Gonna keep rotating. Oh. If anybody's getting motion sick, I apologize. I loved it. Do you know why I like BB No Money, though? The reason why I like BB No is because, this game is about collecting trash. We collect trash, and we're trying to find the playing cards the wife threw out. But yes, okay, what was I saying? Gene, tell me to go finish. Onyx, go finish your drawing. Y'all, I don't remember what I was talking about. Does anybody remember what BB No? Oh, the reason why I like BB No. BB No realized early on that the reason why his music did so well is because people would share it and would use it in like streams and stuff. So he has long said that he will not do any sort of claims, like any monetary claims on the music. So you can go, you know, just use it. And so you can play it free on any stream or whatever. You're fine. As long as you're not like selling his music, obviously. And that's why I listen to it so often, because, you know, it's safe. I found a card? Wait, when did I find a card? One second. Oh! Cool! It's a flamp. I don't know who this is, but they look like a streamer. Does anybody know who this is? Alurbis, oh my god, I guess they're a Pokemon streamer. Good Kid? I'll have to try out Good Kid. Gene, what are your 3 favorite colors so I can incorporate them in the background of a poster I'm gonna paint of you? Ooh! Okay, I like a forest green, but I do love red and black. Pink is my all-time favorite color on its own, but I wouldn't necessarily say use that in like a background. I'd say like red, black, and maybe green, because green's complementary to red. Oh, is he? Oh, sick! You know, I always forget how big the Spanish streamer like culture is. There are so many like really big Spanish creators that I just never know of, because they're just big and like, I mean, they're big around the world, but like they aren't English speaking. So of course Americans don't know about them. Who's Good Kid? We're gonna check out Good Kid actually. Let's check that out real quick. Good Kid. Oh, them! I've heard them. Now surround me and you, an awkward silence. Don't you sit and look at me that way. None of how you don't feel the same. He's a perfect blah blah blah. When you talk to you, oh Cupid comes right through and puts an arrow through my heart. The best I loved you from the start. Hey, maybe if I ever get into singing, I can do a collab with them. Dun, 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 dun. I am gonna do a cover of this song, but Laufey or Lofi's version. I'm not gonna be doing like the high energy version. I'm gonna be doing like the very calm, chill one. This is nice. That's what I'm using. I don't have a song command. When I look to you, how good Ben rocks right there. So the planned covers right now, like the ones I'm actually practicing with a teacher, is from the start, which I pretty much have down. Again, I just need to fix my sound issue. And, we're gonna play the other song I'm gonna be doing. And I'm trying to hit this with no alterations. Because for the from the start, I'm going to be dropping it an octave, but for this, I'm trying to hit like he hits it, and so this is going to be difficult. Oh, hello, Hoshi Snake. How you doing? What color should I dye my hair? What's your normal hair color? Hey, nice. I wear the bracelet. Post pics of the bracelet. I want to see it. All right, Hoshi Snake, what's something to say? Secret. I'm a VTuber, we have no age. Oh, okay. He's immortal. I'm 87. You're right. I'm sorry. I'm actually 49,000 years old. Just kidding. No. 5. I am 5. How'd you know? 300. I am 300. I am all of the Spartans. Oh, yeah. The point, like, a lot of times, especially with VTubers, the goal is to make us as ageless and as long-lived as possible. Bird! 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 Bird, 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 bird. Ah! Bird! Ah! Bird! Yes. Anyways. No. Sorry, what were we talking about? Yeah, but it's more of like it's a thing of like content creation in general. Because as long as you know, you have the vibe and the energy, you continue making content for as long as you possibly can. But if you put an age limit on it, it becomes difficult for marketing and stuff. Genuinely. So it's one of those things of like looking to keep your brand alive as long as possible. Now, love you. Oh, the lemon? The lemon was oof. I mean, it wasn't bad. I'm gonna be honest. It's a lemon. It's a fruit. It was a lot. Don't get me wrong. It's a very strong flavor. Oh. So for the background, I want you just to draw the basement. Like what you imagine the basement would look like, however you would customize the basement. You don't need to draw anything more than just like the basement. About the youth trends. Yeah, you know, you youth and your trends, like the 67s. I'm so hip and youngs. Mm-hmm. You missed the lemon. Draw Savannah the cat? Go for it. Those using their skippity toilets. You don't know about the basement? You don't know about the basement? Really? I mean... The basement. You see, to become a partnered streamer, I have to have 75 average viewers, and, you see, I realized people would go home and stop watching after I finished streaming, so, just to make sure that y'all would never leave. Oh, hello, Enchantress. What a good timing. I did just lock everybody in a cage, so welcome to the Cage Raiders. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the cage. My name's LuckyJene. I'm a gambler, a writer, and a soon-to-be villain. But, can we get a shout-out for the lovely, lovely, lovely Enchantress? We're gonna do the little shout out. I'm not sure if we have anybody here to shout out right now, so I will go ahead and do it. Oh, no, we got it. There we go. Go pop them a follow and go check them out. What were you streaming? What were you doing? Let's see. You were doing... taking a look. I know. Oh, actually, you all need to hear this song while we do this. You were playing Best Served Cold? What's Best Served Cold? Whoa, 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 what is this? Enchantress, I need your attention. Tell me about this game. What is this game that you played? It looks interesting. Oh, also, if you need a raid and run, feel free to raid and run. That's totally fine. I get it. I'm only going to be a little upset. Big fun? Doesn't answer my question. What is it? A fun mystery game. Okay. Okay. Adding that to my list. Best served cold. Best served cold. Sweet. A bartender detective game? Oh, that sounds sick. My rats chew wires, by the way, so, like, get those out of the cage. Back in the cage, back in the cage, back in the cage. We're going to be careful here. There we go. Okay, there we go. See, how big are your rats? Can they fit through the bars? Should I be worried? But hello, rats. Hello, lovely rats. Don't lick the raiders without consent. You know the rules. Oh! Hey! Hello, cat. What are you doing here? Welcome, welcome, welcome. More raiders. Well, also, we're already in the cage, but I can do it for you again. Give me a second. All right. Cage. Ha! Enjoy the cage. Go check them out as well. They do amazing VR stuff. Very cool. If you need to raid and run, feel free to do so. It's totally fine. I understand. Need another meal. Thank you for the stretch. Okay, we're gonna play more of the trash game, but Raiders, thank you all for coming by. And Raiders, can you tell me what you enjoyed about the stream that you were just watching? Tell me, or what do you like about your streamer? Let me learn a little bit about them. What's your favorite part about that streamer? What's your favorite color? I have 5 cats. Pink is my favorite color. Don't lick unconscious people. Why would I lick the Raiders? Don't ask me why voidlings lick Raiders. They just do. I don't know why. Can I know your birthday month? February 17th is my birthday. Exactly. Because it's fun licking raiders. I do too feed you! You're gonna make the raiders think that I don't treat you properly. What is this? Yes, my birthday's February 17th. We got Brickin'. I fed you Brickin'! Alright, take some EPs. Exactly. And y'all, do you know how many games I buy all the time just to entertain you all? Brickin'. Brickin'. So, Brickin' is a very, very fun dish. It is a let me think how I best describe it. You take a block of ground chicken and you cook it in a toaster oven. And that's Brickin'. You can season it, but there is nothing in the instructions that say to season it. They say you can season it as a treat. No, but meatloaf has bread and has other things in it. Brickin' does not. The idea of Brickin' is a substitute. Oh, thank you for the follow. Is a substitute for like boiled chicken. You know how a lot of like bodybuilders will just do like boiled chicken? And they'll just do boiled chicken and rice, maybe veggies. Brickin' is like a better version of that. Cheaper, slightly better quality. Taste is a little bit nicer. Have you had fairy bread? I know of it. I've never had it. I think I made it once, though. It wasn't sad. It was tasty. A little bit overcooked. Enjoy your eeps. Oh, I do know that song. Let's do that one. There we go. There's another song I might do a cover of. 1 second, Hans. Still good. All right. Are there any stays in here? I don't know what that means. Gibbets, how did the haircut go? What are stays? Oh, very cool. What's Stray Kids? Right, Stray Kids. Oh, K-pop. Sick. I like K-pop. Like an alcoholic, one last kiss. One last kiss. You know, Also, don't forget, if you want to rock my Oshi marks, it's a red and black heart. That way everybody knows you're a fan of my content and you can meet up with others out in public. It's a good song. What is this playlist? Random music I'm picking. It's not a lemon. There's no lemon in my Oshi marks. Nah, I'll throw in some songs that none of you know. Like music my dad used to play when I grew up, when I was growing up all the time. You know what? Bet. Here we're gonna do. We're gonna play a song that my dad used to always play for me growing up. He played this on guitar. And so one day I'll learn how to play this on guitar. Oshi mark is a symbol used in idol culture and VTuber culture as a representative, or as a... Thank you for the stretch. As a representation of the community that you're part of. And it's usually use it to show support for a VTuber that you want to see succeed. You know, kissing till I get a wedding ring. My honey, my baby, don't put my love upon no shelf. She said, don't have me no lines and keep your hands to yourself. I refuse. Welcome to ADD. You're gonna have to deal with it. Baby, baby, why you treat me this way? You know I'm still lover boy. Still feel the same way. I'm out from milking a cow and said no honey, no kissing, intimate wedding vow. My honey, my baby, don't put my love upon no shelf. She said don't have me no lines and keep your hands to yourself. It shows up in random movies all the time. Da-da-da. There we go. You can't fix the link? Oop. There we go. Thank you for the link, Red Faye. Bing, 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 bing. Alright, that'll be good next. At a bar? Oh, most definitely. Oh yeah, this is, especially any bars in the South. Say, honey, I'll live with you for the rest of my life. And no, you don't kiss in to make me a wife. My honey, my baby, don't put my love upon... I'll check it out later then, Gem. Lies and keep your hands to yourself. Asteria, he's a music artist? I have not. I'll check him out sometime. Epic is also good. I haven't seen the whole musical yet. We may need to do like a full watch through of that one stream. This is, yeah, this is definitely like a dad rock song. I think dads love this kind of music. We watched a little bit, but not the whole thing. Oh, Galaxy. I think I've heard some of the Galaxy kind of stuff. Reindeer outfit, that sounds adorable. Oh, but I've heard, I think, okay, wait. Dreamcore, there's like Dreamcore pop songs, right? Give me a second. Dreamcore. I need to look this up real quick. I love anything here. Hey, Ray May May. How you doing? Anyways, we're gonna play some chill jazzy stuff to vibe out with for a little while. There we go. I should do this one. There we go. Okay. Though I don't have to keep picking things. Jazzy, not daddy. Bird! Cheers, cheers, cheers. Thank you for the fall, little blue space. Welcome to the menagerie. There's a Danny war and a Mason Annalie war. Oh wait, are you talking about? Are you talking about the dude who listened to Epic and like there was some sort of like people got mad at him for something? I don't remember what they got mad at him for. His name was Danny, right? You might find a crack fox. Ooh, I hope so. Not the Danny War. No, what's the Danny War? Explain the Danny War to me. I'm curious about it. Just give me like little snippets, little quick messages. Dannies were mad at each other. Wait, there's multiple Dannies? Danny who? Danny Phantom? Crystal Core and Clean Core? I don't know what that is, but those sound interesting. Okay, North, Fett, and Mott. Wait. Wait. Give me a second. Okay. These sound familiar. Who's the guy who does the voice for Beetlejuice? Oh, thank you for the follow, Trash Raccoon. Welcome to the Trash Piles. And welcome Little Blue Space and Ray May May. Thank you all for the follow. Welcome to the menagerie. Who does the voice for Beetlejuice? Because I know he's in everything. He has that voice. Alex Brightman. I love Alex Brightman. Anyways. That's all. Who's the real Danny? It's me, guys. My name's not Danny, and it never will be Danny. But I'm the real Danny. Gene Phantom. I'm a phantom. Gene Phantom. You know, Gene Phantom would definitely be something in Danny Phantom. Oh, we're getting so close. We're getting so close. Ah! Oop. I'm the real Eminem. You're right. Now, I'm Slim Shady. Yes, I'm the real Shady. All the other Slim Shadys are just imitating. So won't the real Slim Shady please stand up? Please stand up. Please stand up. Please stand up. I'm Batman. I am also Batman. Where is she? If it ever gets to the point where people start doing art of me as other people, I will have achieved success in life. just 100 different genes. All right. Right. Empty. Oh, Joker meeting Mark Hamill sounds so cool. Favorite actress, Ben Schwartz? I dig Ben Schwartz. If you could ask me who Ben Schwartz is right now, and I could not tell you what he's in, but I know Ben Schwartz. The Geneverse. There is a Geneverse on AO3. Happy to be there. I enjoy stirring chaos in chat for fun. Oh, of course, Ray May May. Well, I hope you enjoy your time here. Ray May May. God, I know Ben Schwartz. What is Ben Schwartz in? Like a good Pitch Black? Oh, he is Sonic! Okay, cool. That's fair. Oh, right, yeah. Y'all make fun of me. Come on, go for it. I believe in you. You got this. Everybody, give me your best Gene joke. Let's get a roast going here. You're a dinosaur? Wow, old jokes. I'm gonna. Yeah, that one was a little bit far. No, I'm just kidding. You can't say it. Okay, well, keep it appropriate, you know? I'm a monster? Valid. Dog boy? A dog. How could you? You're really tall? Prove it right now. Dude, I'm too tall. Oh, okay. Okay. Wow. CD. Lack of oxygen causes brain damage. Hey! I thought that I was a dehydration creature. I drink a lot of water normally. Hey, Fally, how you doing? 3 apples tall. I'm at least 4. I'm at least 4 apples tall. Come on. Unless they're big apples. Misaki, it's not that everybody's tall, you just happen to be short. How many genes does it take to change a light bulb? No one knows. The bulb was lost a week ago. Ah. I like that. Oh, I'm sorry, Mei. You might need to do a refresh of stream. You never say something mean about Gene? I would. Smelly. Stinky. I'm glad I'm not the only one who went with that one. I cleaned up most of the glass. My right piggy figures upsets you? Valid. Hey, we're talking about you all now, not me. Actually, we are talking about me. I immediately forget who we're talking about. The day Gene stays on topic is the day he's been replaced. Who? Gene? Topic? Replaced? I've eaten so little of my pizza, I'm gonna have to heat it up after the stream. Oh, because of the game. See, the game lighting affects my model, see? Anywhere I go with the lighting, the game reflects onto me. Yeah. I took all your height? Yeah, it's true. It is true. Bird! You do not know how long it took me to get that figured out. And then somebody showed me an easier way to do it, and I'm like, ah. I am a thief. We're getting close. Can we get a channel for the Discord for all the 5'2" people? Anyone below 5'5" will be able to have their own access to a certain channel, and I can't get in it because I'm too tall. But then you have to admit you're under 5'5", so you know, you get labeled as being short. I mean, we already have one for all the 6-foot people. Y'all knew there was a 6-foot channel, right? I'm just kidding. There's not a 6-foot channel. Can you imagine? This is a discrimination? Yeah. How many of you look into the Gullible channel? So many of you look in the Gullible channel and fall for it every time. Every time somebody new joins the Discord, somebody falls for the Gullible channel. Yeah, exactly. I just put the channel at the top and no one can reach it. There's a channel that's very specifically that says "You Thought." And it was made as a joke, but people keep going like, what is this? Oh, it's just a channel to make you look at it. You might have already looked at it. I mean, Addie believed that I smell like chocolate when I lie, so I had to bully people. Do you pray to your Christmas tree? I do not pray to a Christmas tree. I can order off the kids menu? Oof. Yeah, why would I? No, I smell like chocolate when I lie, obviously. That's how you can tell. Just so you don't have to do parkour to get a cup. Valid. I am the Christmas tree. Oh, I like that. We're almost there. Do you ever stream Minecraft? Well, not every morning, but I do it in the mornings at 3:30 a.m. MST. I stream twice a day, and that's part of my ASMR streams. Is there an advice channel? There is not. What kind of advice are you looking for? Alright, there's my schedule. Thank you! MST, yep, Mountain Standard Time. It is known that I live in Colorado, because I will occasionally consume product. On the very small topic of smelling like chocolate, my mom on live once got told that she looks like she smells of like Nichols and drinks white Gatorade. That's crazy. Oh, tips and tricks? I might. Good night, Riva. Sleep well. MST isn't real? You right. Might be. Hey, thank you for the head pats. Thank you for the stretch. Oh. Thank you for the follow, Mutant Survivor. Welcome to the menagerie. You can't convince there's people in the mountains. I mean, Denver is one of the biggest international airports. So you think we're just an airport, but nothing else? There's no actual time zone? Goofy bonk. Just mountains. There's no people, just mountains. You're right, I'm actually a mountain. I'm sorry to tell you all this, but I've been a mountain this entire time. Nope. Worth the climb. Ayo. One-third mountains, one-third hills, one-third Kansas. Oh, a journal? Oh, sweet. I'm half asleep, Pallid. Is that why you're so tall? You are a mountain? Yeah. Ooh, thank you so much for the redeem. Oh, here we go. I wish I had like a broom or something so I could put all these together. What the heck? Heat grabbing price. Oh, I found a card. Nice. Okay. What are short people? Valleys. Disappointments. I'm kidding. I love all my short people. Don't get me wrong. What does a robot do on a one-night stand? I do not know. Awful. Awful. Colorado is a singular tumbleweed. We have mountains and weed. We have both mountains and weed, thank you. We have national parks. Sometimes snow. We have flannel. Men who wear nothing but flannel. That's a thing. And absolutely gorgeous women dating the most basic men in the entire world. I mean, oh, holy crap. I don't care what your gender preference is, but like the women in Colorado, absolutely gorgeous, and the men in Colorado are just there. Casa Bonita, we do have Casa Bonita. Haven't been there yet. How do you keep yourself awake during stream in the morning? Well, I wake up. That's about it. Actually, streaming keeps me awake in the morning, and then I go to work. Short queen, bet. Indiana, but with corn. Dad's in shorts and flip-flops with 4 inches of snow. Yeah, it's true. All right, all right. We're getting there. I work in IT. I fix computers and drunk. And one day I'll be a full-time VTuber. That's the goal. That's the goal, y'all. I do have a job. I mean, there's exception to all the rules. There's exception to all rules. Don't get me wrong, but yeah. All right. Oh, we are so close. You're a short dinosaur. Come on. Come on, finish it off. So close. What's IT? Sorry, information technology. I like fix computers and handle people's tech issues, that kind of stuff. And one time eventually I'll be a full-time VTuber as well as a voice actor is what I want to be. But we're working on it. We'll get there eventually. I'm not. I'm a transplant. No, I'm from all over. Dad was military, so I've been all over the place. You need to do more acting? Why? What do you mean I need to do more acting? Where am I gonna do acting, huh? I don't know who said dating women dating men is overrated. Women dating women, men dating men, men dating women, dating whoever. Do you date who you want to date? I believe in you. Any tips on becoming a VTuber? Don't. No, I'm just kidding. Step 1, get yourself a model. Get a pre-made model. Do not get a custom-made model. A custom-made model is minimum going to be $200, and it's not going to be what you want. There are models that you can customize yourself, that like have like toggles to customize if you really want something like unique, or get something that somebody else uses. Like this model, I'm not the only person who uses it, but this cost me $30 versus me paying $3,000 for a new model, which is currently still in process. The only thing that you can't do is make merchandise using this model. And you cannot, like, you cannot use this model in, like, advertisements or anything that you sell. Fan art is fine. But, yeah. So, that is why I, am getting my own custom model. But when you're starting, get a pre-made. A lot cheaper. One sec, let's finish this off. All right. We're Almost there. Almost there. Oh yeah, Karamiya, you mentioned something about me doing actual acting. Why can't I just do voice acting, huh? Why do I gotta do real acting? Oh. So you better be careful. I've done improv before. Oh, look at that. I was not expecting that. Look how big that is. Wait a second. We're going to clean up our cards and we'll be done for today. But like, what the heck? Yo. Yes. Big trash. All right, we'll sell off the last of our stuff. Buy a larger garbage bag. Clean up our cards. Queso! Heck yeah! Grumpoof? I don't know what the heck that is. Zaprick? Lyric? Oh, it's Lyric! Look at that. I want to feel one. We're gonna do this one of these. Gonna fill one bag of trash here. Oh, valuable item. Not enough energy, right? One bag of trash. Did a decent chunk. 420. Woo! How much is a tire worth? Yeah! Woo! Wait, can I get stuck? Do you think I can get... Alright. I got this. Give me a second. I'm out of energy drink. This is gonna be cool. Okay. We're done with one pile of trash. Oh, yes. Good stream, y'all. Good stream. We went half an hour longer than normal. We're going to be coming back to this game. I think it's definitely going to be kind of an evening chatting stream that we can do sometimes. Maybe we'll do this like once a week. How y'all feel about that? Or maybe I might do some morning streams too. Because there's not really many like sounds we got to worry about. Took me an hour to clean that pile? Yeah. Sometimes. But yeah, okay. Pandemonium, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the menagerie. This was a lot of fun, y'all. And thank you for being here with me, eating a lemon, and just being cool, being amazing, being so fun. I had a good time today. I'm gonna go. Don't forget Thursday, y'all. Hi, Magical John John. Can we get a shout out from Magical Prince John John? Give me a shout out for the Magical Prince John John. They are a fantastic streamer. We'll be collabing with them on Thursday, along with Tippy Hendrix, Goblin Fia, and the lovely Moo. And we'll be playing some... Oh, what are we playing again? We're playing... I can't remember what it's called. Murder something party. Where we're going to be shooting each other. It should be fun. Don't forget, stretch your hands every day. Do little stretchy stretches every day when you can. Give that lovely Magical John John a follow. And we did eat the lemon at the beginning of the stream. I will do another lemon eating at some point in time because y'all liked it too much. Well, let's go see if we can find somebody to raid out to, okay? How many people we got today? How many people we got here today? We can do 120. Heck, okay. Do we want to make somebody's day or do we want to get some attention? Let's get some attention. We're gonna go raid Necronival. They're playing what looks like what is it, Alan Wake? Yeah, we'll go raid them. They're playing Alan Wake. Or yeah, this is a good choice. All right. Thank you. Hi, what do you mean a hype train? Y'all, we're ending the stream. Thank you for the subs. Thank you. Goofy. Y'all goofy. We're gonna go raid Crony. Y'all say hi to Crony for me. Let's get that raid message. Copy the raid message. I think it's raid 2. Oh, that's not it. Anyways, copy the raid message. Thank y'all for being so amazing. I had a great stream with y'all. And I'll see y'all tomorrow, okay? Mwah. Y'all be good. Bye-bye, lovelies. See you tomorrow.